Hello again. There was a time when the news that the British government was rescuing Britons who had been trapped in a war zone would have meant holiday makers called Jim Smith and his family, who had been on the beach when a military coup unexpectedly occurred and had to be brought home to safety. These days, of course, rescuing British citizens means something a little different. Rishi Sunak is sending teams of border force officials to Egypt because he is concerned that British citizens are trapped in places like Gaza, Lebanon, and so on, and they are to be brought back to this country as soon as possible. We are told that they will be exempt from residency tests and able to access benefits more quickly. The changes in these circumstances will mean Britons fleeing the conflict can access social housing and homelessness assistance without delay. Now, this should immediately start alarm bells ringing because it suggests that these are not people who usually live in this country at all. If we are rescuing British citizens, surely they have homes in Britain, don't they? Don't they live here? Apparently not. There are people who have somehow acquired a British passport in the past, but would far sooner live in Gaza, Lebanon, or Judea or Samaria. When things become uncomfortable there, though, they suddenly dig out that old British passport and expect to be flown to this country and put up in a hotel at our expense. How many dependents do you think each of those people will be bringing back with them? In fact, this is the first stage in a new wave of refugees whom the government will be allowing to come here. Britain wishes both to support Israel, but also to look compassionate and caring about Palestinians. So, what better way of showing this than bringing a bunch of people here and giving them council houses? As for sending border force officials to Egypt, I can, without stretching my mind too far, think of other uses for the border force officials. I can think of ways in which they might be more profitably engaged rather than visiting Egypt. For example, by protecting our borders on the south coast of England. But there, I don't work for the government, so I dare say they know their own business best. Details are emerging of the cost of our last such act of compassion, when, following the fall of Afghanistan in 2021, we invited 20 or 30,000 Afghans to come and live in Britain. We flew a lot back here at once, but thousands of them stayed instead in Pakistan, where for the last 2 years they have been staying in hotels in that country. That's 3,250 Afghans staying in hotels in Pakistan from the summer of 2021 until now. Who do you think was picking up the £26 million bill for those hotel rooms in Pakistan? You were, you mugs. Your taxes were paying for it. Luckily, that's all coming to an end now. Good news, no? Why is it coming to an end? Because we're flying all 3,000 of them to this country to live, so they will be staying in hotels in Britain instead for the foreseeable future. In the description to this video, I give links to the information about all this. I can tell you now that those supposedly British citizens who are trapped in Gaza and will need to be brought back here and also put up in hotels, as far as I can make out, are only the beginning of a big consignment of refugees heading this way from that part of the world. Although it's in the Prime Minister's interest to support America and take a tough line in favour of Israel at the moment, he's also keenly aware that he's starting to look heartless and uncaring, which is not at all what he wants with an election coming up next year. So he's keen to find a way to make himself look a bit soft and cuddly. What better means to that end than to announce that we are making a grand humanitarian gesture of unilaterally taking a bunch of people from Gaza? You heard it first here.